Hello everybody, welcome back to One for the Weekend. Really?
What?
He's had a tough week as our Flav. We'll have to talk about that, but there's lots of other things to be spoken about. This will cheer you up.
No, I don't think we do have to talk about it. It's one for the weekend, yeah? One for the weekend coming. That's what it is. It's not one for last weekend, because that would be something else. That would be a review show. This is a preview show. Yeah. So, no, Jim.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how the podcast unfolds. I feel like we need to kind of talk.
Well, it'll be a one-sided conversation.
Okay.
I'll tell you that for free.
Well, yeah, you're a Spurs fan. I'm a QPR fan.
Oh, you do?
It would be a one-sided event. We'll talk about that soon enough, I'm sure. We're going to talk about lots of different things. We're going to give you some reasons to listen. We're going to be talking about Man United.
Got an important sponsor this week.
We do. So we're going to talk about Gamble Aware are sponsoring the podcast this week. So we're going to be talking about their new campaign as well, which is it's a talking point that I think a lot of people would shy away from, but not here, not on this podcast. It's about Man City versus Chelsea, which is a big game this weekend. We're going to have some mid-table musings for all you mid-table fans. And we've got some of your favourites as well at the end of the podcast, including Find a Way and an update from V-Talks. Bagel Guy has got in touch.
Oh.
Okay.
Where's he been?
Okay, and final thing, look, let's talk about it. So the podcast this week is sponsored by the Gamble Aware charity, who have a new campaign which is asking the question, is betting taking away your love of football? So the campaign is called Can We Have Our Ball Back? It's designed to challenge the relationship between betting and football. And the video is kind of playing over the top as we're chatting now.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, is our ball here?
He's heavy.
I can't see it.
It's slipping. Well, where is it?
Yes, it! It's a great tackle! What's that for? Where's it gone?
We got the ball. Go on then, yes! Finish!
Go! Talk! Well done! Well done! Keep going! What? Again. What? Where's it gone?
Is betting taking away our love of the game?
We have our ball back, please.
You can go and check that out. We've got a link in the description where you can check out that full video. But I think what it's trying to say, this charity, and there's been some stuff that's come out in the news today actually about how betting within television and the advertisement of it is going to be sort of banned. And it's
they've made a voluntary.
Voluntary.
It's not being banned. They're
going to stop doing it.
Remove it.
The Remote Gambling Association, the RGA, which has got a load of bookies, won't say their names. They've voluntarily decided to, around the 90 minutes of the game, not do any betting advertising, which is going to change. It's going to change the look of football quite a bit, isn't it? Certainly in TV, if you think of the adverts and how many there are.
Yeah, and I think obviously the issue is that it's like betting's also is becoming more or as much part of the game than the game itself. So obviously they said like betting can be fun at football. For a lot of people it is fun, and it's obviously great when an accumulator comes in, but it's not why people fell in love with the game.
Yeah.
And I can understand, I do understand that the point of the campaign in that regard is when you've got people betting against their own teams because that'll help support their accumulator, it kind of does spit in the face of the fabric of the game somewhat, because football's always about your own team playing out of your own area, and whoever comes is kind of like the enemy. Whereas, except when it's betting, you go, well, forget all that because that helps.
Yeah, look at the odds.
Helps my odds there.
Yeah.
So I see that as an issue, and obviously there's a wider issue of young people getting caught up in this, and that it's become so entrenched with football that young people think it's completely normal, and that's dangerous. Gambling's fine as long as you keep control of it. You can have a lot of fun with it as well. But when it becomes so entrenched, there is some risk that there be damage happening.
Absolutely, and I think in this age where everyone's on the internet constantly, when you have that, the kind of, it's going to be harder for you to regulate what youngsters are seeing, because you can just write down the fact that you're 18, even if you aren't when you're sort of signing up for a bookie or whatever. Yeah. So I think that the two big things here that the campaign's trying to get across is one, kind of just think about this and talk about this. Talk about gambling is not. It shouldn't be something that's totally normalised for children. But like anything, like having a drink or doing whatever you want to do, there are vices that you can do in moderation, and it can be okay. But look, it's getting to it has got to. But when you think about it, 95% of TV adverts are all bookies. So that's on the broadcasters as well. That there needs to be an element where there shouldn't. If you've got 6 adverts in your ad breaks, then really you don't need 95% to be booking.
And this is the thing: is that ultimately people will go where the money is, because ultimately it is about creating profit. The whole game is a business. But I think this is a good starting point actually for just a discussion. Let's actually talk about this and be aware of what this is and what we're all doing, and make steps going forward to make the process of incorporating betting into media a more positive and wholesome way of doing things.
That's the name of the charity, isn't it? You know, Gamble Aware. That's what they're trying to kind of get across with this. And so if Gamble Aware, the charity, they provide free help and advice to anyone who's worried about their own gambling or that of a loved one. So we'll put that in the description as well. But yeah, if you just go and Google it, of course, and search Gamble Aware, then you can have access to all of that stuff. And make sure you use the hashtag #CanWeHaveOurBallBack if you want to tweet about this and talk about this. But it's interesting.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below.
I think that's the next stage is that they're talking about sort of, is it 9 of the 20 Premier League teams have got gambling sponsors. And so again, I think it's been there's a lot of it, isn't it? And it's like anything, there needs to be
and in football, as with anything, a lot of things go unchecked until they're challenged, and everything should be challenged, every aspect of football. So and then we'll get to a point where we've got a more wholesome game.
Tanveer is on the 1s and 2s. His roller coaster ride with the comment section continues. How are you, T?
I'm doing great. Doing good.
Okay, deciding to kick off on a
positive,
polite.
What did the people make? Did anyone comment the fact we mic'd him up?
I think one person didn't like it. Other people did like it. I'm fine with it. You mic'd up today?
I am mic'd up.
He's mic'd up today, which is good. I think it's good because then you can actually hear what he's saying. However, there was probably more hatred in the comments than I've seen before towards any of us, and it was because of the Hasselbank fiasco.
Because he never heard of Hasselbank.
He hadn't heard of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Can I just make a comment on your top there?
Sorry,
it's a bit tight. Been working out, have you?
No,
got a bit wampy.
I've actually lost a bit of weight, but
do it again.
No, sorry.
All right,
making me feel awkward. Let's make Tanveer feel awkward. Hasselbank,
Great.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. What the? Have you done some reading up? Do you know who he is now?
Still don't care.
If there's a bit of an argument going on in the comments when we're talking about, say, Man United, Mourinho, should he go? Man City, are they buying the title? Things like that. When there's a little bit of an argument going on in the comments, if it gets to a point where I go, right, look, we're butting heads on this, whoever's oldest wins the argument.
Yeah.
I think that's what should be happening.
Yeah, because you get reward for being older. And,
I like that. You're a one for the weekend.
Yeah, so if there isn't a butting, if you're in the comment section or chat room, whatever you call it, just put at the end of the argument, just put your age, and that's whoever's the oldest wins.
But, Flav, we need to talk about this, mate.
What?
We're going to have to talk about it, I'm afraid. The fixtures this week, unbelievable. So many derby games. I was really surprised by that.
When
I saw it. I thought, I know
weird.
you want to talk about it.
Every week, there's so many.
Far, recently, there's been quite a few.
It's good to know about derby games. Huh?
It is, and I know you just then you were saying that you didn't want to talk about it, but I think we should dive into it.
All right.
So quite a few derby games revealing themselves to me personally, and also my Twitter account. Thank you for everyone who got in touch. Bournemouth versus Liverpool, the first game of the weekend, which is the Jordan Ibe derby. Yep. Some people call it the Brad Smith derby, but I think we all know that it's the Jordan Ibe.
Brad Smith is a guy with very big ears.
Jordan Ibe?
No, Brad Smith.
Brad Smith?
Who am I thinking of? Jones. Am I thinking of Brad Jones?
Brad Jones was probably the worst goalkeeper Liverpool have ever had.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking about Brad Jones. Yeah, ginormous he is.
He played for PSV Eindhoven as well.
Brad Jones?
Yeah.
What have we talked about it on this podcast? The third choice goalkeeper. Have we talked about that here?
Maybe.
Like what is the life of a third choice goalkeeper?
Oh, it's a wonderful time.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would want to earn my living by just sitting doing nothing. I don't think that. And they know they're never going to be good enough. A third choice keeper is really important in a squad because they have to be
Banter.
poor enough.
Oh.
They have to know their ability to just be okay with just making up the numbers and then hope one day that you get a chance. So Gazaniga at Spurs, he played a couple of games for Southampton. They said he's like the worst thing they've ever seen. He's played for Spurs and done absolutely nothing wrong. Like he's now a second choice case. So he's worked up one.
Right.
But I wonder how he's dealing with the mental stress that he might actually have to have a prolonged period in the Spurs.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I mean, the greatest of all or greatest or worst, whichever way you want to look at it, of all third choice goalkeepers, of course, is Richard Wright, who stole and is still stealing money from Man City. Not as a player now; he's in the coaching staff.
But what's he going to teach him? What is Richard Wright going to teach Edison about anything?
Yeah. You says, what is it, like getting up from a chair?
No.
That's about it, isn't it?
Patience. That's the only thing he can teach him.
Yeah, that's true.
Just bide your
He made, what was it? He made well over like 1.7 million per appearance. He played 4 games in a 4 year, like in 4 years at Man City as number 3.
And do you think like when his kids go, oh, what do you do for a living? I was a goalkeeper, son. Oh yeah, who'd you play for? No one.
Yeah.
Didn't play. Ipswich when I was 16.
And there must have been a few times over the years where him and Stuart Taylor just called up each other. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give me another year.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe it. Are they giving you another year? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually 45.
They made me part of the coaching setup.
Yeah.
What are they thinking?
I've got a fucking clue.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I just play League Cup games where we dominate.
I'm just hoping I don't get found out one day.
And they never did.
No, they never did.
Stuart Taylor, I think, is still at Southampton, maybe.
Really?
Same haircut as well. What was it? Oh yeah, fixtures, back to fixtures. Arsenal versus Huddersfield Town. Hang on a minute, we might be all right this season, derby. Both Huddersfield and Arsenal after probably both going into the season thinking, they're both feeling good.
Right.
20 games unbeaten Arsenal. Good times for Arsenal.
Just gonna show that.
Yeah, cool. Burnley versus Brighton, which I've got a couple here, but one was sent in by someone and I thought it was much better. Mine was initially it was the hard B derby, because you got 3 Bs in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You've got Bournemouth as well, but Burnley and Brighton are far harder than Bournemouth as a squad, as a collective.
Yeah.
But actually, then someone noticed that actually it's the why isn't he in the England squad after a couple of decent games derby?
Yeah.
So
Glenn
true,
Murray.
isn't it? Glenn Murray, any Burnley player, Ben Mee probably.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's good.
Cardiff versus Southampton, the style versus substance derby. Cardiff, I think Cardiff might stay up.
Yeah, they are looking okay. They shouldn't. Their squad isn't a Premier League side, and they've got a manager who isn't a Premier League manager.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because what's he done in the Premier League? All he's famous for is getting teams promoted. 10 teams or something, what it is.
He's managed us, and we were never in the bottom 3, and then he got the sack.
Yeah, he got the sack.
A lot of people say unfairly.
Well, unfairly or not, he couldn't cut it in the Premier League.
Sorry guys, I've got a bit of a cough.
He couldn't cut it in the Premier League.
Sheffield United. Sheffield United he had a squad that they weren't expected to stay up.
Well, and there you go. Again, he can't buy. He doesn't have the acquisitional power or draw. You imagine, like, I don't know, Christian Eriksen.
I'm defending him. I don't like it.
Christian Eriksen going up to Neil Warnock. Want to buy you, son? Want to buy you? And he's looking around. And he's like, "What are you? What are you?" Do you know what I mean?
A thumb.
Yeah, well,
it's like a thumb with a wig on.
Yeah, and but they're doing the business. They're overachieving, and I hope that they do stay up, because football has become so formulaic now. It was like the footballing gods looked down on when Leicester won the league, and they were like, "I'm not having that again. Not having that again.
No more.
All of the shit teams are going to be shit forever."
Yeah, it does feel like that a bit, doesn't it?
So it'd be a great thing if they stay up and
they do remind me of the great Stoke City side that came up and stayed up. Just pure shithousery.
Power.
Hard nuts, apart from Junior Hoylett. He scored a screamer, didn't he, the other week? Against Southampton, who they're just like a shit cloud.
Well, Spurs played against Southampton, didn't they? And they did all right. Like, can't defend at all at this stage. But, they've got their new manager, never heard of him. RB Leipzig.
I keep forgetting his bloody name. I've got it here somewhere.
Yeah, but they didn't do too badly against Spurs. They probably had another couple
Ralph
of goals.
Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, he had 2 seasons at RB.
He is the first Austrian manager ever to be a Premier League manager.
All right. Did you clap in? Yeah.
Is that?
Is that all right? Clapping that?
Where's Christian Grace from?
Switzerland.
None of the last 7 permanent Southampton managers have won their first Premier League game.
Doesn't really
But
make any difference, does it? Doesn't matter.
this guy, he sounds pretty good. He got 120 points during his 2 seasons at Leipzig.
Where are you pulling all this information from? This wasn't on the running order.
It was. I've got it right here. In 2 seasons, 120 points. Only Bayern Munich, 166 points, which is a hell of a lot more. But only those guys did better in that period. We had it with Fulham the other week, who were playing Southampton. That first game back, you then look to the fixtures and go, who they got. And you do wonder again. I think chairmen are doing this more and more often, where they sack them just before a game that they've got a massive chance of winning.
Yeah.
Because they played, they had Man United, then had you yesterday.
Yeah.
But now they got Cardiff away.
Yeah.
So which is obviously a much more winnable game. So they've got a good chance. That said, the Alcott gut, which is generally pretty bang on, got the Fulham score right.
I'm receding.
Well, yeah, hopefully. I've got a feeling that's going to be a draw.
Okay.
We carry on.
Yeah.
Man United versus Fulham, the Paul Parker derby.
Paul Parker.
No? Queen's Park Rangers legend.
I prefer Dimitar Berbatov derby.
Well, I don't.
Okay. Man United are initial a weird one, aren't they? 4 draws on the bounce, or is it 4 without a win? Should have got beaten.
Without a win.
So 4 without a win. So Tanvi, of course, Man United fan. Let's go into this. Let's dive into this.
Tanvi, you should have been beaten handsomely by Arsenal yesterday.
Well, no. Yesterday, the thing is we are so bad, and we know we're bad.
Got it.
We understand we're bad.
Got it. Should we?
I was expecting so much worse than that, and
This is a weird thing. There's a couple of people picking up on this. Is that look at Tanvi's face? He looks dehydrated because he's been worrying about Man United so much.
Right.
And his expectations of Man United.
Wonder where you're going.
yeah.
His expectations of Man United have dropped to such levels that they're happy with a gritty draw at home
Well, I wouldn't say
against
that.
a team that hasn't beaten them since 2006.
What is Man United's upper limit? What do you want? What do you want from the season?
That was just in recent times that we've...
Tanvi, answer the question. What do you want?
For God's sake.
What do you want?
I don't even know what I want. I'm going to take whatever I'm given. What do you mean?
He is struggling.
Just so...
Every time I think we're going to do something good, we end up being terrible.
You talking about the podcast or you talking about Man United?
I think Mourinho's lost.
Mate, I snapped this week.
He's gone.
He's got to go, mate.
Got to go.
It's time to go.
Is he any good?
Is he good, though?
Is he good?
He has lost it. And he's only still in that job because it's such a high-profile job and he's got so much history behind him. Any other manager creating a team that is playing like that at any other club, getting the results that, in comparison to what they should be doing, these guys are 8th in the league. Minus goal difference. Only team in the top 9 with a minus goal difference. They are dog. And he has to go. I'm not that guy, I know. Normally I'm not that guy. But Mourinho, I'll miss him once he's gone.
He's got to go.
It's not working out at all.
Yeah, it's time to go.
In your last meeting, Man United versus Fulham, in February 2014, Flav, Man United produced a tally of 81 crosses against Fulham. The most in a Premier League match since 2003-2004, and they drew that game.
Wow, that is a good stat.
They drew that game. Do you remember that game?
I like that.
That was quite a big...
That's useful.
Thank you. That was quite a big game for David Moyes. That was like, right, you've run out of ideas.
That was the day we became a meme all over the internet.
4 years on, do you feel like you've moved forward as a club?
I mean, I'd hope so. I'd hope if we put 83 or 84 crosses, whatever it was, in, we'd actually win the game.
Well,
see, you probably would this time because you've got Fellaini and you've got Matic and you've got Lukaku and loads of other big players that Mourinho likes to throw on.
Yeah. Also, where's the self-respect for Man United and the fans? Like, this guy, this guy's just an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's spitting on your badge, essentially, by the way he's behaving and the way he's talking.
Lee Dixon saying that he's trying to get himself the
He's
sack.
trying to get himself sacked.
Is he trying to get himself the sack, Tanvir? You're mic'd up.
Let us know.
You're listening to Lee Dixon.
Lee Dixon is a very respected pundit.
And a very nice man.
Great, we'll go with that.
Let's move
Do
on.
you think he's doing that, though?
What? I mean, it's a lot of money for him. A lot of money. His contract. When did he sign a new deal? Last season.
I don't think he's doing that. to be
Last year. So he's got 3 years on it. Yeah. Say he's got 3 years, and each season he gets paid £10 million a season. No one on earth is going to say, "Oh, well, I'm just going to walk away and turn down 30 mil."
Certainly not. He's not going to resign, is he? There's absolutely no way, is there?
Nope.
Sorry, I just wanted to.
You are in a pickle.
You're in a pickle.
Just what do you predict right now? What do you predict that result is going to be? Not just
Fulham.
the manner of the result. I reckon a horrible 1-0. Just a 1-0.
Man United, isn't it?
Get over the line. Scrappy goal.
You might be right. I think 1-0. maybe a 1-0.
Imagine if Fulham go 2-0 up early, like Southampton did.
Do you know what though? I thought Eric Bailly did well last night against Arsenal.
That's nice.
And he's trying to get the fans going, which I thought was good.
Did they get going? Probably not.
A little bit. Yeah,
not bad support.
Sorry, I've got
Better
these
than
really good
Spurs.
stats. No. I like to talk about it when it's Man United because I want to get to the bottom of this. Man United have made 46 changes to their starting 11. 46
Doesn't know what he's doing.
overall this season, including 7 in the midweek draw to Arsenal. No side has made as many as the Red Devils in the Premier League this season. Why is he making so many changes, Tanvir? You're part of this podcast now. Give me some answers.
We do have a lot of injuries, but he is, in general, he is always swapping the lineup around and stuff as well.
He's in his office going, what do I do? It's like when you're playing Championship Manager.
Do you reckon he's just playing bingo and putting anyone he wants in?
Let's just change.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will work.
Maybe he is doing exactly that because in the last 20 minutes of games, if they're not winning, he just goes long ball. Just changes the tactics to direct long ball.
Get top.
It's not going well, is it? No. Let's be honest. Where will we finish this season?
Top 4.
Come on now. Come on.
You are out
Top
of your
4.
mind.
Top
If
4.
you finish in the top half, it's a good season.
Yeah.
A top 4 finish, I'll take that.
You said
It'll be-
yourself,
it'll be
you'll
good
take what you're given.
It'll be good for football if they finish sort of 14th.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Just be a laugh, wouldn't it?
Will he last the season if they finish 14th?
Yeah, because they're not going to spend 30 million getting rid of him. So just stay forever.
Wow.
As they just spiral into mid-table mediocrity.
It's never going to happen.
Bloody hell.
Isn't it?
West Ham versus Crystal Palace.
I've got nothing to say about this. Can we move on?
The James Tompkins derby.
Right, good. Next one.
Chelsea versus Man City, which is a 5:30 game on Saturday, which is the questionably sourced Richards derby.
Sorry. Is he any good?
Well, this is also, I would call, the possession derby. Because both teams, they love a bit of possession. And there are only 2 teams this season to record more than 300 possession sequences of 10 or more passes. So on 300 separate occasions, they've had 10 or more passes with the ball.
That's nice.
So that's miles more than any of the other big 6. But the difference is, City, a third of those sequences end up in a shot or a goal.
Right.
Or a touch in the penalty area. Whereas with Chelsea, it's only 18%. So it's like considerably less.
Yeah, because they're not Manchester City. They don't have the same players. It's Manchester City are, let's not talk about them again. Chelsea, though.
We're talking about Man City. We're allowed to talk about Man City. I get they're good. Do you know what, this is the other thing, right?
They're insanely good.
Everyone...
They are unplayable.
I get it, but they're only 2 points clear of Liverpool. Everyone needs to calm down. Everyone's getting so angry about the Man City thing, about how good they are. And they are really good. I get it. But they're only 2 points clear. They draw this one game, Liverpool win their game, they are above them in the table.
I don't want to think about that.
Liverpool have to play. They have to basically win every game in the season to challenge them.
So you win a game 3-0, okay? I win a game 1-0. How many points do you get?
3 points.
How many points do I get?
You get 3 points.
Okay. The next week, I win 1-0.
Can you see Man City?
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Can you see
Just
Man City
chill out.
get beat? Can you see them getting beat?
Sure, they
Can you see Liverpool getting beat?
I can see both of them getting beat. I think Watford... I watched the Watford City game earlier in the week, and for the first half, Ben Foster kept the minute. He made some great saves. But in the second half, Watford started to get their act together a little bit, and in the last 5 or 6 minutes, they had a couple of good chances to get themselves the draw, and obviously the line where if people don't watch that game, they look at it and go, oh, did they nearly get a draw? God, is that as bad as it can be?
Yeah.
But that's football. Like you can have loads and loads of shots and not concede. You can have 2 shots and score a goal. Like things happen like all the time. What is going to be interesting is that in this Christmas period that we're now diving into head first, how both teams got really good squads. Liverpool made a lot of changes against Burnley, wasn't it?
Yeah. But they were 1-0 down and made some changes. Origi didn't last the game. So not that you'd expect them to.
They changed. The front three didn't start, did they? I think
But but still they were in control and they deserved their win.
But yeah, my point is that you can only get 3 points, and so if Liverpool get to February, and Man City played so well, and Liverpool are 2 points off them, it's on.
Yeah, look, Liverpool have done it the right way, haven't they? Whereas Man City haven't, and I think that's the key argument. Hopefully,
the money,
for the sake of football, but not our own sanity, Liverpool win the league.
I think Man City will probably win the league. I'll be amazed if they don't. But I don't think it's as dire as people are saying. Because look at the table. There's 2 points in it.
Between 2 teams. But as you understand football, you know that the likelihood is that Liverpool won't be able to maintain this.
You don't know that.
I don't know that, and I'm going by what I know about football. And I would assume, based on this, that Liverpool won't last the pace.
But there's also been years where Man City have won a hell of a lot of games, 4-0, 5-0, and still not won the league.
That's the other thing is that how easily they're just walking through teams. It looks like they're not even bothering.
It's that's down to the tenacity and the man management, and then the tactical management of Guardiola.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between. That's when I look at Mourinho now, and I'm just like, they're getting nothing from you. He's a pantomime villain, and although that's enjoyable from a neutral's point of view in terms of the entertainment that he offers, and I actually like it when he kind of wins games, because I like that little smile on his face when he kind of like he gets it, but he's not offering enough to that team. That team is a mess. The tactics of that team is a mess. Yeah. The amount of changes, 46 changes, is a mess.
Yeah.
But Man City, Chelsea this week, Chelsea have fallen off a cliff with their form in the last couple of weeks.
Well,
pumped by you.
Yeah.
Did get the win against Fulham, to be fair. Lost to Wolves yesterday.
Losing to Wolves at Molineux is no shame this season. They are much better than I expected them to be. The second half against Chelsea, they were excellent. Chelsea were less so. Second half against Tottenham, when we played them, they didn't deserve to be. They more than deserved to be a 3-3 game, that one. But luckily we held on. But they were very good, really technically gifted.
I think they're
lovely footballers.
Lovely footballers.
Oh, lovely.
And there's a new guy, I think his name is Gibbs White, the 18-year-old guy. He's amazing, set up the goal.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, I just think, I think the reason I brought up that stat was because they are going to dominate games, but I think you're now seeing that teams are figuring them out a bit and figuring out how important Jorginho is. If you stop Jorginho, then you've got a really good chance. And actually players like Willian and Pedro, they're good if the whole team's flying, but individually...
Well, you stop Jorginho,
they lack the pace.
And
they really lack the pace.
You can expose Kante as well, because he's not doing what he's brilliant at, because he's being played out of position.
Although he played in the right position against Wolves, and it still wasn't enough.
Their issue with Chelsea, and I'm sure they'll remedy this in January, is the major issues defensively, but not having a number 9 who's worth anything.
Yeah. But if you think Aubameyang, imagine Aubameyang was at Chelsea. He's just totally transformed.
He's brilliant, that guy.
Next game is Leicester versus Spurs, which is the slabhead derby. Harry Maguire versus Eric Dyer.
Good.
We need to talk about it, mate. We're going to have to talk about it.
What?
That's the derby, didn't you?
Yeah.
Enjoy it?
Did I enjoy it?
Good day, was it? You're above them in the league, aren't you? Above them in the league.
I mean, we talked about it on the pod. You know how much I hate them. And the only thing I can take away from that game is I've got to be honest. Like I said before, the last time they beat us, you have to take your medicine. They were excellent. They were so good. Their press was insane. We just couldn't compete, and I think a lot of that was down to our personnel, what we had available, the players we had.
Missed Dembele, didn't he, big time?
Yeah, and I think Pochettino made a massive mistake by not starting Winks.
Have we all underestimated Arsenal?
Well, I don't think I haven't. You have.
Yeah, I think I did.
I said that Emery's got them playing as well. They're still defensively. There's issues defensively there. We, despite not playing well, we got at them several times, and I just think a better midfield, it would have been a different game. But taking my Spurs hat off, you can't take anything away from their performance, and obviously their fans absolutely loved it. It's like they won the league.
Yeah.
Which is what a derby win should be.
Well, that's weird. You were saying that before we started. Weirdly, that was a nice element of it, that actually it meant so much to Arsenal fans, which it should do.
Well, yeah, it should do, and it was boring. We went for years and years of them going, that this isn't important to us. It's like just another game as a stick to beat us with. But in this instance, you look at it and how much it meant to them. That's rivalry. That's what it's about. That hatred. That's what I love. It fuels me, when thinking about this, because football it can be insipid. It can be dull.
Yeah.
Most of the football matches are dull, if you're being honest. But that was just full of passion. And
what a game!
It was a great game. It was a great game. And this is the thing, like the FA's charging both teams with what's it?
Shithousery.
They're just failing control of their players or whatever. That was one of the best advertisements for Premier League football. You had everything.
Yeah.
And I've got no issue with Aubameyang goading Spurs fans, and Arsenal fans shouldn't have any issue with Eric Dyer goading them, because we want our players to give a shit.
Yeah.
We want our players to care and behave like fans in an ideal world, and they don't ever. But they got it.
They do now.
They
it's
got
happening,
it.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's certainly happening with some players, and we're not supposed to like each other. We're not supposed to like each other's players, and that demonstration was a throwback to derbies of old. And it was unfortunate that Arsenal beat us. Obviously, it wasn't unfortunate; it was deserved. They deserved everything. But it was nasty. It was football at its corest. None of those players were thinking about their wage check. They were thinking about beating the opposition, and it was gutting. I can't tell you how gutted I was afterwards, as I should be. But that's football. That's what's great about football, and it's still there.
So how do you feel about you got a League Cup semi-final coming up, but like the return leg? Are you excited about the return leg?
What, playing them at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, but it's the Arsenal way. We've won one game.
As good as Arsenal did, do you think they'll finish
above Spurs
at the end?
They're really good, so they have every chance.
Sitting on the fence.
Yes or no?
I think Spurs will still finish above them, but
my guy.
I think I'm just thinking realistically. They are so much better than this season than they were under Wenger last year.
And I know it's been a kind of theme throughout when you look at the other managers. Emery has got them playing on the front foot, playing with no fear, and that comes with information. It comes with tactical, a tactical plan, and he's given that to these Arsenal players. And I go back to Man United again. Look at them. You've got Rashford working his bollocks off. You've got Herrera at times working hard because I think he's a good pro. By a little bit. Then after that, they're just all a bit of a mess at the moment, and that's why he needs to go, in my opinion. The last thing we'll do before we get into the good stuff, in my opinion. Actually, we've got two things, because we need to talk about Gamble Aware. Very briefly, some mid-table musings. I looked at the mid-table. Tanvi, you put a picture up here, mate. And I looked at it and I was just like, I can't figure out who is the best team after that. Man United squad is obviously very, very good. But you've got Everton in 6th, and then Bournemouth, Man United, Leicester City, Brighton, Watford, Wolves and West Ham. Of those teams, which team do you think will finish highest?
So we're not including Man United, no?
No, you expect them to rise, wouldn't you?
Well, maybe. But I like Wolves. I love just the way they've been playing. I think Everton are clearly, in terms of
The squad is very good.
squad's good and whatnot. But in terms of who's been playing the best football out of that team, Wolves have.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been beat. They have been beat. But you've got to look at them as a Championship side that's come up. Obviously, with players that should be playing in the Premier League in any case. Neves, Moutinho, you wouldn't expect them to be playing in the Championship. So, but the fact that they've gone about it in the way that you think we're going to play the way we want to play football and we're going to get results, them and Bournemouth, how they've done it over the last few years, it's impressive. It's nice to see.
I like all of these teams as well and a reason I want to talk about it is because they're crucial to the league, to the strength of the league, because obviously because it's a third of the league, but because we need these results. We need Wolves beating Chelsea. We need those results to happen to keep it exciting. And you've got a lot of teams here that I think in other years, there's so much quality in the Premier League now. It's unbelievable. But a lot of these teams they've got a bit of like flair. West Ham have got that in Anderson, Arnautovic. Leicester City have got it in Maddison. Bournemouth play great football. I think you've got a lot of really good footballing teams in there.
Callum Wilson there about
He's doing great at Bournemouth as well. Everton, Yerry Mina's now starting to play games.
Andre Silva.
Gomez is class.
Andre Gomez.
Sigurdsson.
He is. He's a delight to watch.
And then, I just think there's a lot of good football going on, and I'm intrigued to see who finishes top. So let us know in the comments below, who out of these guys do you think is going to finish sixth? Let's have sixth. We have our new chief of police. Chris Scott was announced last week. For those of you who don't know, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. We have here at One for the Weekend, we have the best comment section on the internet. So thank you all of you, and make sure you just check in right now and hit the like button. But what we've had over time is we've asked people to go, if they see something that we don't like, bit of a less of that. Just type in less of that. And we wanted someone to be the chief of police. Now, Chris Scott was the chief of police. He was announced. He won a poll.
Yeah.
Beat Key and Vince. But then the next week, he wasn't in the comments.
Why do they keep doing this?
Well, that was last week.
All right.
So we asked, you might remember, Flav, Tanvi, you might remember this one. We asked Garrett, of course. Garrett is the honorary president of Ball Street.
And Lifetime Achievement Award.
And he's also winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award. We wanted to know what he thought about it.
Right.
So we've asked him about his thoughts on this situation, because ultimately, he's the daddy. Whereas Chris Scott got my original vote, and I think he doesn't need to have a native post as chief of police, because I'd gone through the comments and I hadn't seen a native post. So he might have replied to someone, but I don't think he did when he came back. He apologised. As long as he's appropriately handing out less of that to offending commenters, can't say that. Is it commenteers?
Commenters.
But I voted him because he was the best of the three that were available. There was Archie McVicker, I think, and Kean Vince as well. My personal endorsement, however, goes to Tom Cash, who is lively in the comments, based on his manifesto last week. Constable Cash appears to have submitted his paperwork a little late, but I think he should still be under consideration. Ultimately, the proof is in the participation, and PC Scott and PC Cash should both be given the chance to show their worth in this week's comments. Well said, Garrett.
All right.
I think you bang on there. So yeah, for now, Chris Scott, you're fine, or PC Scott. Just make sure just stay on it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So we've got a PC Scott and a PC Cash.
Well, I think it's too early to truly announce PC Cash. I don't think he's an advisor here, Garrett, but ultimately we've got the power.
I quite like it. I think we should give it to Cash as well. Two.
All right. What, you got two chief of police?
Well, the last time we've done them, they haven't done anything. So maybe having two, that someone might actually start doing the job properly.
Okay, well, as Garrett said himself, both are now given the chance. Get in the comments section, see what you can do. Clean up those streets. Right, Find a Way, which I forgot last week because it was such a jam-packed podcast. Flav, can you explain Find a Way?
Find a Way is when there are circumstances in your life which would otherwise hinder your prospects of watching the football match you want to, but yet you find a way to watch that game. These are the stories. You've got music or something?
Yeah, no, I had it. No, I've already clicked something, but I didn't.
Do you want me to carry on talking? No.
Okay.
What is this?
What music have you found?
What was that though?
I don't know, it's a bit strange, isn't it? All right, Find a Way this week.
Is this the Call of Duty? Have you used the Call of Duty?
No. That's something different. We're fine. We won't get copyrights right as long as we keep talking over it. Leif Alwan. Sorry for the coughing. Had to go to my girlfriend's... Oh, this one. Is this a find a way or not? Let us know in the comments.
All right.
Leif Alwan. Had to go to my girlfriend's birthday party on FA Cup final day. Spent the day playing football with a kid that was allowed to check the scores since he didn't have the scorned look of a girlfriend. Made sure to send him to check the scores and give me updates. Everyone thought I was a gent for keeping the kid occupied when he was saving me from small talk. Hashtag find a way.
I don't understand that. He was playing football. And why wasn't he watching? Why
You haven't found a way.
You've actually chose to play football instead of watching your team.
So you haven't found a way at all here, mate.
I'm not sure about that one.
Look at let me read the first sentence for you again. Had to go to my girlfriend's friend's birthday party on an FA Cup final day. You haven't found a way, Leith. You should be ashamed of that comment. Less of that.
Your first sentence, it says that you've done the exact opposite. Actually, if anything, that soldier's lost in battle.
Don't worry, it's fine. Owen Taylor, he stepped up, he found a way. I once went to Inter Milan versus Lazio at the San Siro with my fiancée. We didn't know we had to bring our passports. The missus turned on the waterworks for the old Italian man crying, "I'm from Australia, I didn't know." We were ushered off to a different gate and quietly let in. Clap for the
Fair
fiancé
play to the missus as well.
Yeah.
They both found a way.
Now this is the one. Here we go. Randy Barsteward. I think that's his real name. Just checking in with a story. Back in the glory days of Zola, being in charge of the mighty Hammers, I was in the army, roughly halfway through a tour of Afghanistan. A friend of mine had got tickets to the opening game of the season, away at Wolves, and invited me along as I would be back on R&R holiday. Rest and relax. Was it? Rest and recoup, whatever. The only problem, the missus, brackets, hereafter known as Zero Alpha, had other plans. She wanted to spend my first few days at her flat with her parents.
Oh.
Oh no.
Before we departed to the Lake District for some personal time, I was having none of this. I formulated a plan. What's the next song? Is that going to kick off?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Coming in. There we go. On my way back, I called Zero Alpha from Cyprus, regrettably informing her my flight was delayed. Probably tempting fate, as the plane later developed a genuine fault before takeoff, delaying us for 6 hours. Eventually, we continued our journey, and my mate met me at Bryce Norton Airport, and we flew up the M40, throwing a few beers down me while getting out of uniform and trying to squeeze into a small claret polo shirt and chinos. Hashtag hench. We arrived at the game only a few minutes late and had a fantastic time. I am not ashamed to admit I spent a fair portion of the game and a few hours after dining out on my new suntan, and I was in a sorry state by the end of it. My mate dropped me off back at the airport, and I called the missus, telling her I had finally arrived back in the UK. I got my fat drunken head down on the floor in the arrivals lounge and awoke much later to Zero Alpha's beaming smiles. A loving embrace followed, and we headed to the car as she thanked me for dressing up so smart to meet her parents. 2-0 away win, and Zero Alpha didn't find out until my mates put pictures up of our ultra top secret match on Facebook the next day. Awkward.
Oh no.
Randy Barsteward.
That might be the best one we've had yet.
That's definitely the best
clearly
one
the
so
best
far.
one. Can I say though that I understand the missus, actually. I understand if you've been away in the army, which must be very stressful for those left at home.
Yeah, sure.
That wanting to spend time together rather than you go to the football.
Yeah, but it was opening day.
Yeah, he wants to watch his team play.
It was opening
Mate,
day. Though.
Randall,
Do I love that?
absolutely amazing.
That's what I love about all football fans that you can do with the soap opera of football. You can always go, but it's the third round of the FA Cup.
Yeah. But
If we win this, we're 3 points off the playoffs.
But when you say my missus is becoming much more, she's wiser now than she was before about it, and I was like, Cardiff. We haven't played Cardiff in the Premier League for 7 years. Do you understand the gravity? No, I'm really lucky though. Really lucky.
You're so lucky. 3 cheers for your missus.
Again.
Hooray!
Like,
Hip
it's
hip!
like-
Hooray! Hip hip!
Hooray!
But she just goes, yeah, you can watch what you want. Actually, she does something even cuter. She said, I say, oh, Spurs are playing tonight. She goes, Spurs playing, mate?
Oh,
Fan
that's
rolls her
lovely.
eyes.
Spurs playing. Oh, that'd be good. And then she'll watch it with me for a bit and then go and do the ironing or something.
God, we have different lives.
It's not always easy, though. It's not always easy. You've got to work at relationships. You've got to work it.
You don't seem to be happy.
No, I do.
Wow.
Believe me.
Who am I? Last week we gave you 2 questions. One's for the elders, one for the weekend elders, one for the youngers. So, first one was, I'm now retired but won 38 caps for my country, which included playing at a World Cup finals. 3 years after playing in the World Cup, I scored a winner in an FA Cup final and then later joined the team I had scored against in that FA Cup final. Who am I? The answer was Norman Whiteside. Throwback.
Good.
Old school.
You got that?
Do you know what? So one bloke chirping up in the comments.
Yeah.
He was going to stop doing the trivia. I was like, oh, I can't get it, mate, can you? Give me that shit. This trivia's been in One for the Weekend since the beginning.
Yeah, I'm with him.
No, you're not. People love it.
Do they?
Yeah. The other one was, I played for 2 Premier League teams and 2 international teams. I also won the Golden Boot at a major tournament. Who am I?
Is that this week's question?
No, that
Alright.
was last week's. The answer was Davor Suker.
Alright.
No one got even.
Next one.
Right, this week's one.
If I get this, can I spoil it? Because I don't know what the answer is.
Sure. But we're not going to have dead air, so you have to get it quickly.
All right.
Right. I was born in 1981. I made my Premier League debut in 2006 and went on to score 5 Premier League hat-tricks. For my country, I won 78 full international caps. I played for 3 Premier League clubs. I also played in Germany and France. Who am I?
Germany and France. Oh, it could be loads of people. I have no idea.
Yeah. Right. We've had a tough time when it comes to terrace banter, but we go again. Camera on, Flav, please. See if we can get a chuckle out of him. Now, I've got 3 from the people in the comments who try to offer some kind of humorous moments from the world of football, well, from the terraces in particular. And then I've got one myself, which you haven't seen, but you can watch it live on the podcast and see if that makes you chuckle. Right, first one. Joe MacGloin, #terrace banter. This is one for Flav. Waiting outside Wembley trying to get into the station after the game when we all broke out into, we're all pregnant, we want to go home.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was terrible as well.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Sam James. Hi lads, just checking in. Not so much #terrace banter.
Why did you include it?
Because, I mean, these guys need to be shown up for the lack of humour that they're offering.
You're putting me through it. Just leave a comment.
All right, next time. Sam James said this. This happened after a match. I went to Spurs versus Arsenal years ago. Danny Rose's debut wonder goal.
Yeah.
Anyway, after the game, one bloke who had a few started solo chanting to the tune of "Can't Take My Eyes Off You." He went, "I love you, Gomez, and if it's quite all right, I love you, Gomez. I'll let you my wife."
I love you, Gomez. I wish I was Brazilian too.
Yeah.
I'm a Spurs fan. I remember it.
Is it funny?
Well, I mean, it might have been funny at the time, but I've heard it ages ago. So not at this stage anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe an Arsenal one, maybe because you won't have heard that one. Jimmy Crypto, #terrace banter. Remember hearing this from Arsenal fans under Arsene Wenger on away days, and then hearing this. Oh no, I don't want to give him. Don't worry. Then hearing this. Right. Oh, Arsene Wenger's past it. His tactics are too old. All he does is sit there and leave it to Steve Bold. Just waves his arms. He's tragic. Can't even find his zip. And if you think it's time for change, then join in with this shtick. Oh!
Oh, I mean, that's horrendous.
Really bad.
I had a little sick up in my mouth.
Did you?
Yeah, a bit.
Right, last one then. Newcastle fans.
Don't join in with the shtick.
Let's see if we can get something out of you here. See if we can finally get a laughter from. Because I thought this was all right. And we can obviously play it, you see. That's the thing. Right, Flav, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
only got laughs. He's only got time for little arms. The Newcastle fans to Jordan Pickford after, of course, he had a bit of a nightmare, didn't he, last week?
Yeah, I quite like that. It was weird.
He can't touch the grass bar. Visual, wasn't
He's
it?
only got little arms.
He's only got little arms. Well, there you go. We've got our first one.
Yeah, it was good. Good on
Buzzing.
you. I hadn't heard of that. I've heard a lot of this.
That's good. If you've got some terrace banter that can actually make Flav laugh, we've seen it can be done. Room 69, quick one here, and then on to Flames Advice. Combined 11s, chips and gravy, Davey says. The reason I bring this up is because Tim Sherwood on The Debate, he said he wouldn't put a single Arsenal player in a combined Spurs and Arsenal team. And then you lost, didn't you? Lost 4-2. So do you think combined 11s should maybe go into room 69 to stop future Derby Day embarrassment for you?
For me, for Spurs?
Yeah.
Well, it's Tim Sherwood, not ours, isn't it? It's his opinion. And, you know, as I've said many times, Tim Sherwood was our worst ever manager.
Yeah.
He was quite
He
good.
did well, didn't he?
He did terribly.
Finished fourth, didn't he?
No. No, we didn't finish fourth. He's look. Combined 11s are stupid. It's just content that gets beautifully shared around Twitter. It's designed.
It's a bit fun though, isn't it?
That's it. So it's just a bit of fun. So why does everyone lose?
I don't know. That's what I thought you were going to go. Yeah, get rid of him.
I mean,
I
before
actually don't really see,
before the
I don't know why
game,
people get so angry about it.
Before the let's get rid of him then. Before the game.
What about Tim Sherwood? Want him? Chuck him in?
Yeah,
you
can go.
Okay. Right. Final one. Flames Advice. Now, last week we were all angry. Some people were angry at me.
Rightly so.
Well, because there wasn't an update there, and I needed it to be glaring to make sure we got an update.
Why were they angry at you?
They were angry at me because I'd said that there's updates from previous Flames Advice.
Oh,
So
but
for
you
those of you
didn't
who
give
don't know,
us this one.
for those who don't know, I'm James. This is Flav. Together we are Flames, and we offer advice to you guys. Advice that works. We get you through every storm in your life, as Flav said last week. But there was a bagel guy, wanted to ask his girl out. They did. A lot of stuff's gone down. Go check out the previous podcast. Go to the end bit, and you'll see that. Okay. But we have an update from V-Talks, a.k.a. Bagel Guy. He said this. Hi, James and Flav. Namaste, Tanvir.
Wow, I appreciate that.
Sorry for the delay in the update. Yeah. 2 weeks. I apologise to you three and everyone in the comment section.
Me and you and then this time.
I have been struggling to find the right time to ask her out. It's not about the courage, but rather the situation. I feel kind of weird asking her out with other customers, 3 or 4 of them at any given time. So again, very quickly, there's this girl. Bagel Guy likes the girl from this bagel place. He's giving him loads of schmear. He thinks she likes him. He hasn't asked her out yet. Should he ask her out?
Yeah.
I thought I cornered her one time when she was the only employee in the front there. But just as I was about to ask her, this old woman came out of nowhere and started asking something about flavours of bagels.
Read the situation!
Jesus.
Why is he cornering her?
Yeah, cornering is the wrong language.
He
That's
didn't,
the wrong
yeah.
one.
Well, no,
That's
we
not
know
what
he's
he
a
meant.
nice guy, though.
It's
He's
like
taking his time with this. Don't spout that. Anyways, I sort of managed to ask her out.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Eventually. But when I did, she thought it was a joke.
Well, what did he say?
Here's what happened. She was not working the counter, but rather working on the coffee machines in the shop. I thought it was the right time as she was away from the other employees and no customer would have bothered her as she was not attending their orders. I walked up to her, talked with her for a bit and then said, "Can I buy you a cup of coffee?"
All right.
She just laughed, said, "Good one," and told me that no need to buy coffee. She gets it for free as she works there.
Yeah.
Understandably, the shop exclusively sells only bagels and coffee. In hindsight, I should have asked her for a drink or at least not for a coffee when she was actually preparing some. So sorry about that. It's been confusing times since then. Did I actually ask her out and did she turn me down? Not sure what I do from here, because if she did turn me down, she would think that I'm pestering her. Meanwhile, there's no change in the amount of schmear. But is it guilt schmear? All help suggestions would be really appreciated. Cheers, guys.
I don't think she thinks you asked her out. I don't know what she thinks. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
There's a lesson to be learned for all of our friends in the podcast here. When you do it properly, with confidence. Even if you don't feel confident, fake it till you make it.
Just go.
Because he didn't do it properly, did he?
Just go and look. There was some confusion the other day, right? I was asking for a coffee,
Yeah,
all right?
Clear, I think.
But I wasn't. That was just... It was just a device. I want to go out with you. Will you go out with me?
No, you don't.
Yeah, go out with me.
Yeah, just give her the eyes.
Maybe propose.
What?
Yeah, go.
Just...
Do you know what you don't do, right? Because I bet he's thinking this now, because he's had a nightmare already. He goes, oh no, don't say drink, let's say food. Do you want to go out for food? But then when you go to her, oh, do you want to go out for some food? Maybe some bagels. Then you might have done the same thing. So don't say bagels.
Yeah, definitely don't say bagels.
Because she'll go, oh yeah, good one. Actually, I
say,
get
look,
bagels for free here.
Just say, do you want to go out for a drink?
Yeah, do you want to go out for a drink? I think you're really pretty. Do you want to go out for a drink?
You seem great.
You
really
seem
cool.
lovely. You give me lots of schmear.
Yeah. Don't acknowledge the schmear.
Oh, no, never acknowledge the
Because
schmear.
if she turns you down, then she might take away.
If she turns him down, if he doesn't approach it in the right way, and she turns him down, he can never go back there anyway.
Mate, life's for living.
Go in,
go for it,
say, look, I think you're really pretty.
What's the worst that
I
happens?
would love to take you out for a drink. Any dice. And she'll go, oh,
We
sorry.
said, and he dies.
And
Any dice.
Any dice.
That's it. Done.
And she might go, yeah, why not? And do you know what? But I found that actually calling a lady pretty, it might sound, I don't know if it sounds too, I don't know what it sounds like, but I just think it's like if someone says to me, oh, you're handsome.
Would you go with that? Does it have to be that? Can you actually go, you seem really cool? I'd love to.
Just be like, oh, you
Yeah.
seem really nice. Like, let's go grab a drink.
Yeah, that's probably.
Got to go for it, mate.
Less creepy.
Come on now.
Less
Come on now.
moist.
Hey, camera on me, please, Sammy.
Okay.
Come on now. Now's the time, here, son. Running out of time.
And when
Hurry
you're
up.
in there, what will happen is you'll overthink it. You'll overthink it, and your brain will start going, and you overthink it. What you need to do is clear your head, and you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just go and do it. That wasn't it.
We're not doing that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got another update from last week as well. Hawkeye, up to his
Oh my
old
God,
tricks,
Hawkeye's
isn't he?
back already.
What
Bit
was this again?
disappointing, this one. Hawkeye, he'd found a girl on Tinder that he really, really liked when he was about 15.
And he set up this creepy party.
He said, well, I didn't think it was creepy. I thought it was a good move.
Yeah. Go on then.
So yeah, quick update here before we get into this week's question. Appreciate the advice, lads. The hand waving killed me.
Hawkeye. That was Hawkeye.
Hand waving killed me. Going to sneak it into my dance floor routine on the next night out because she wasn't at the last one.
Yeah, it was such a long shot. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, but she doesn't know about this long shot though, unless she's smart enough to listen to the podcast.
yeah.
So go again, son. I like that idea. I think it works.
What you going to keep
He's just
organising
gonna
nights
keep
out and
throwing
hope
parties and hope she turns up.
Once a month. No?
she ain't turning up?
Did she not get the invite?
So what does he do
she
now
got the
then? What
invite.
does
She
he do now?
knows.
I don't know.
How do you reach out?
Well, reach out, go out, tell her how you feel. Just saying, look, I always fancied you. Let's go out for a drink. You're really pretty. You got pretty eyes. Yeah, just reach out to her. Stop playing silly buggers. Let's just go.
Okay, right. This is up. As AXZ60. What was the grimace for?
I'm just processing what the possible outcomes of reaching out to this bird lady.
What, for Hawkeye?
Yeah, because like it could be that it becomes, oh, you see what he did, but then you think, who are these people and who cares? I mean,
Or what, he could actually go, oh look, I tried to set up a whole night just to see you.
no, don't say that.
No, yeah, do not say that.
No,
do
yeah, I
not
thought
say
that's
that.
what you were saying.
No.
I was going to say.
No.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because if he just gets her number and goes, oh, like, how do you open that? It's tough. You might have to play a long game with that one, mate. So AXZ60, right, I need some Flames advice. I recently moved to Brighton to do my Masters. In my intro lecture, I see this beautiful hipster girl with round glasses and a Rachel haircut. Rachel from Friends, I presume. That I couldn't stop thinking about the whole lecture. I naturally proceeded to make conversation with her. After a while of conversation, she mentions her boyfriend. And out of respect, I decided not to pursue her any longer.
Good.
2 months go past. Some of us decide to go on a night out. He's going to call her Jill, for the sake of this, for her privacy. Class act. Jill found herself alone while our pal went to get a drink. We were having a deep conversation about our past until our pal shows up from the bar. When I diverted my attention to him, she quickly put this amazing red lippy on and scrambled her hair in an attempt to organise it. I didn't think too much of it at first, but she kept getting closer to me when we were alone for the rest of the night. There was a point in the club where we were left totally alone. We got totally face to face, and I wanted nothing more than to kiss her. And I think she felt the same way too.
Okay.
However, I just couldn't go through with it. Just the Bollywood films when the hero turns away from the heroine before the climactic kiss. I turned away. Brackets, asked Tanvir to show you clips of this from Bollywood films.
I can show you clips.
Sweet. I went home that night, guilty and confused. I wanted nothing more than to steal her, but that made me feel guiltier. On Friday night, I had to go home for the weekend so I can drop my mom off at the airport. When I get home, she texts me to ask if I'm free. She texted me at a time when it would be hard for most of my friends to get to the uni pub. And it was at a night when she normally doesn't see her boyfriend. Was she trying to get me on my own?
Yes.
What shall I do? Shall I disrespect her great relationship with a great guy, so you must know the guy, and ask her if she feels the way I do? Or shall I leave it and move on? I need help, he says.
Well, obviously, if you fancy, you don't leave it and move on. But also, you've got to respect the fact that she's in a relationship. If she wants, you've got to say to her, look, is there something between us? There clearly is. And things are going to go brilliantly for you. But you should insist that she makes moves to end a relationship.
Here's a question.
Once you've established the fact that there is a genuine connection between you.
I'd like to know, could you take this other dude?
That is besides the point.
No, it isn't relevant.
That is besides the
It is
point.
relevant.
It doesn't matter whether you can take him or not.
It is relevant.
Just be as respectful as you can. Continue to do what Flav said, which
Yeah.
is actually good.
Do-
good
do-
No, I'll
advice.
tell you, look, if he's 5'4" and the dude's 6'4",
What?
he acts differently.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's about being a good human being, not about whether or not you
give
can.
me this moral high ground, guys. I'm going to tell it how it is.
That's not how it is. That's how
Yeah.
what people happens, but you don't have to be a part of that problem.
Yeah, I'm joking a
We
little bit.
respect. We respect.
I do think that
relationships
is-
out here.
But
Respect it.
it's not down to him. If he's mates with the other dude, then fine. But if he's not, it's not on him. It's on her to stop that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine for you if that's what you think. But for me, if I was doing it, I wouldn't. You could absolutely screw up someone else's life because you fancy a girl. You should say to her, look, we could do something, but you're in a relationship, so you need to sort that situation.
That's a very mature way of
Yeah.
doing
Then you
it.
can. Well, I'm just thinking about how it would affect me if I was that guy.
What do you think, T?
Yeah, I would choose Flav's way. That's great advice. Solid.
Yeah, and she'll respect you for more. And if she was like, yeah, don't really like to hell with my boyfriend, what is she going to be like with you?
Big red
in
flags.
big red flags. What is she going to be like with you 2 years down the line? If she was so easily ready to cheat on her boyfriend, what happens when you fall for her and you're like, hang on, who's she talking to? That's
solid
where I'm at.
Wow.
But
I
the answer to your question is yeah, she's definitely game, and you're as game as you are by the sounds of it.
She does seem keen. Yeah, good luck, mate. Let us know how you get on. Make sure you update. And Bagel Guy, come on, son. Come on. That's it for another one for the weekend. We hope you've enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Come on, Bagel Guy.